In this video, I'm gonna show you how to model this mechanical joint using SUBD. Let's go. Now, before we start, let me tell you that if you're new to Blender, you should be getting our free Jumpstart Hard Surface in Blender course, which in just a few hours is gonna give you all the foundations and basics for hard surface that you need. You're gonna learn the UI, all the tools that you need, and the hard surface workflow. So go ahead and get it. The link is in the video description. Like I said, the course is free. All right, let's start with a circle, and also we need the screencast keys. There we go. So circle. And I think 20 is enough, you know, so let's just drop it to 20. And this should do. Let's press F, insert it. Just a little bit like that. Grab these here and Alt A here. And what we're gonna do is we're going to fix this a little bit, so let's just run it here, this one here, and this one. Let's run it up here, and let's remove these, and this one. Okay, and then we're going to use space. Oh, and also we need to align this, so hang on, align this and then space. Space, perfect. And what we could do is use space here as well, so Alt X to the bottom. Let's keep the edge here. Let's just align this, and this one should be going like this, and this one should be going here one more time, and then space. There we go, perfect. And we can do the same thing in here. Not that it matters, but there we go. Cool. So we got that going, and let's just extrude it. And now what we're gonna do is we're going to move the origin here to edge. We're going to mirror this with the mesh machine. Split this one in two, and we're going to elevate this one. So let's go here to mark seam. Let's press L here. Oh, and we need to split this one here like this. L, side view, and GZ, and move it here somewhere like this. And then this one is a little bit too long, so we're going to shorten this. There we go. And maybe a bit closer, and also, yeah, I think this will do. And also we need to scale this down, but so let's select all these, scale it down like that. And I think this will do. And then what we're gonna do is grab this one. Let's see if we can rotate it a little bit. This will not work. Although, let's see. Yeah, this will not work. Let me just try to set linear here. And bottom. There we go. That's better. Now this needs to be aligned here. And this needs to be aligned here, and the spacing needs to be fixed, so boom, right? And this one is aligned or not? There we go, now it's aligned. And space. Perfect, so I think we're good. We got the basics for subdivision here. Now let's split this into two here, and kind of the same thing here, to be honest. Now what we're gonna do here is rotate it a little bit. I don't know if you can. Manual is not gonna work. Okay, so let's just move cursor to vert, switch pivot to cursor, select this whole thing, and just rotate it like this. And we're going to align that and move cursor here, not origin, that, and move this one here and align it. And I think we're good to go. Yeah, this is pretty good. We could tighten this up a little bit, you know. So let's just turn it off in and move it in here, and GG to tighten this corner. Same here. Can make it a bit tighter. So also this one should be up here, and this one should be higher. So GZ and move it somewhere here. There you go. Let's see the bottom. Bottom looks good. This one could be flat actually, like this, and this one. Let me just go to side view and sort of drop it down a bit. Just make sure it's aligned. There we go. Peachy. So we're good to go. We can now nuke these. So insert them and nuke them. Now we can actually remove the seams, and I think we're good to go. We probably could use one more edge here, more edges here, maybe two here. Then we're kind of good to go. We could use another loop in here, to be honest, but at the moment I don't think we need it. And maybe that's even too many. Hang on, I'm just gonna do something like this. One more here, and I think maybe one more here. And we're kind of done. Awesome. So that's that. And then we can sort of make it a bit thicker, yeah? So let's actually grab these. So let's run a mark seam here. Select this one, and you know, we could actually solidify this. Solidify it both ways. So press 2. And I think this will do. And let me see. We could kind of create a really large opening in here, like this. Let's just reset this to individual origins, SY, and scale it, insert it, and delete faces and see what we're gonna get. This is gonna be problematic here on this band. You know, we're gonna do this later, so I think probably gonna be a better idea. This one is laying flat. What we could do is actually remove this one. We don't need this, to relax this area here. And this one could be a bit lower. And this one could be, this one is actually holding this structure. So this one could be a bit closer, something like this. All right, so let's move solidification above subdivision and apply it. And then we need to think. So let's actually rotate this like this, and we're gonna move it here. Move cursor to origin. We're gonna move origin to cursor. Mirror this like that. Get it a bit closer. There we go. Maybe that's a bit too close. That was fine. Cool. So now let's actually elevate this one. So extrude it here, and we're going to GG slide it. Oh, we can't do it like this. Okay, so slide it on X here. something like that. Cool. And we're also going to extrude this one. Okay. And let's run a loop here. This one a bit closer and dissolve. And let's just run a chamfer here. That's nice. Another chamfer here. And what we could do here is actually run a proper one. So press P. Could make it bigger like this. Cool. And then we need to run chamfer on these edges all around. Okay. And here as well. So actually let's uncheck this one. I'll do it differently. Now here what we need to do is change the miter to arc. Although I don't think we really need to worry about this one in this case, but yeah, it's a good habit to have. And I think we're good on corners. Perfect. Nice curve here. And this one, what we're gonna do is run a loop here. Make it a bit larger, so GG, and slide it out. Make a really nice chamfer here, so move this one closer. Dissolve this one, grab these two, and run a chamfer here. Dissolve that. Run a loop here, and maybe 3 here in the middle. That is nice and tight. Now this one here could be a little bit sharper, to be honest, like this, you know. Could be a bit sharper. What we could do is simply run loops on one here, one here. And this is going to kind of change the curvature here, but before we do that, hang on a second. Let me actually this one is fine. Okay, so here we're gonna do the same thing. So let's run an edge here, somewhere here, dissolve it, grab these two, run a chamfer, and run an edge here in the middle. And here we're just gonna run a chamfer on this, so it's really nice and tight. Cool. So that is looking good. Now, if you wanted to add some detail onto here, we would need to, unfortunately, apply higher density of mesh. So let me just remove this mark seam, because that's nowhere near enough of geometry to create anything in this area and make it sharp. Although we probably could do some shenanigans here with, well, let me try, but there's a curvature here and this is going to be really tough to do. But let's try, okay? So let's see if we can do this like that. We would need another loop in here though, and then maybe run something like this. Okay. And up to here. Let's see that. So Control I, inside it, and then Q Alt your macro, move it inside, scale it a bit, and then inside it one more time. You see, and it's just a bit soft, yeah? Now, in order to tighten this corner, right, the easiest way to do this would be to introduce more dense mesh. What we could do is run a loop here, like this. But we're gonna end up with a triangle here. We could solve this, to be honest, but honestly, it doesn't really matter. We can leave a triangle. It's a flat space, okay? It's it's a flat surface, so it doesn't matter. So we could just leave a quad like this here, and in this area we just have to connect these, and in this area we can remove this edge and just create a quad here too. and maybe space them a little bit better. Okay, so GG, let's just space them here. But honestly, that's the only way to do this in this corner. And this edge here in the middle, this one should be split into two. Allow this to tighten it up. And then we will need more loops. Possibly another loop in here because we have stretching, you see. This is basically a corner is being stretched on this side. So we could introduce another loop here. And yeah, like I said, the best way to do this would be to introduce just more dense mesh, yeah. So if you're gonna go back here to this stage, let me just Shift D this and create a backup, okay? So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna apply one level of subdivision. What did I do it to backup? Hang on a second. Let's just turn off the backup. There we go. Let's apply one level of subdivision. And now you see, now you got a more dense mesh to work with. So when I'm gonna insert this, it's gonna be way better, okay? So let me show you. So now I'm gonna insert this like this and Alt and macro. Okay, and then insert one more time. That's too much. Just a little bit. And we're gonna run a loop here in the middle. Okay, and see now it's much tighter. It's Control 2, boom, right? Then you got the tighter corner here. It's only because the geo is so tight. Also, there's a bit of stretching, and the reason because the geometry isn't super even. But we're not gonna be adding more loops. You know, this is completely fine. Okay, so we're gonna leave it like that. So we have some kind of a detail over there on this on the top, and then what we could do, we could add another detail here. So now in order to add detail here, we're going to remove loops. Also, just as a tip I'll give you, when you add more geometry, it's really advisable to remove it from places you don't need it. So for example, I could nuke all these and then simply add one more loop in here and split it to support this and add one more in the middle. And I also don't need that many here, so I could just simply remove all these, right? Dissolve and just run like maybe 4 here too. I need these 3. I mean, here we need 1, 2, 3. We don't need really these, so we could get rid of these and get rid of these. Okay, and the rest is fine. So we could just add one here, and I think we're gonna be good. Okay, you simply don't need that much geo. So now here, what we can do is try to run a circle here. I know it's gonna work. Blender's gonna crash, of course. So let's go back. Most recent. There we go. So let's try again. Right click and circle. Oh, that kind of worked. So let's scale this. And we need to kind of make sure it's in the middle. I think it is. Let's actually scale it a bit more. And I don't think it's in the middle. So I'll tell you what we're gonna do. Grab this one, Shift S and 2 edge and 2 cursor. Ouch. Let's move this cursor a bit outside. So here, 2 edge. Okay, and this one, 2 cursor. It's collapsing on itself. That's not good. Alright. We're gonna move it manually. So just on the x-axis, move it here. So it's more or less in the middle. We're eyeballing. Split it like that. Insert it like this. Q Alt and macro. Go inside, and you can either remove it, right? So you can delete these faces here. So select the faces and simply remove them. So let me just go back to subdivision, set it to invisible in edit mode. So you can remove this entire edge, or you can just insert it. It's really up to you what you want to do. Okay. So that's that. That's a really nice detail here. Now here on the side, what we want is an opening, so we can actually make a pretty large one, and we could, you know, utilize this curvature here, so we could actually run up to here maybe, or all the way to here, because why not? I know it's gonna be too much, but could be actually interesting like this. So now, since we selected this side, we need to select faces on the other side. So let's just run W selection, or we could run box selection, so B, and just select all these, boom, and then just select all these faces on the other side are black. Okay, and let's see, almost all of them. Cool. Now I'm gonna insert it like this, and I'm going to remove faces, select these two edges and bridge them, press 2, and we're going to make sure that these edges don't overlap. Yeah, okay, that's peachy, and we're gonna run some loop here in the middle like this to tighten it up a bit. Yeah, so that looks pretty cool. Now this would be even actually more interesting if this was a circle, so hang on a second. This is gonna be difficult to do, but we can try. Yeah. So what we would need to do, we would need to again fix these here, so just dissolve, and then we can dissolve this one and keep this one, and then dissolve these, and then we don't really need any of these, and we don't need any of these. Okay, so we can add one here, press E, and align it. Okay, another drop here, press GG and E and F, there we go, and align it. And what we could do is create another one here, so Control R, GG and E and F. Okay, and make it larger like this, and we could sort of cut it in here, so do something like this, which I think is gonna be pretty badass. The only thing is that we will need to have the same circle on the other side, so here, right? So Control R here, then GG and E, and scale this, rotate it around it, and match these two more or less perfectly like this, right? So we have them on both sides, and now we need one more circle here like this on the other side. So one more circle here, and GG and scale it. Let's rotate it, and then GG, and there we go. Now it should be fine. So one more time. We could even make it more interesting and select something like this. Could be interesting. So occlude, and I need to select faces on this side. Let me just turn off this mirror for a second in edit mode, so I can match them. Okay, let's try now. So let's just let's save it, because if I have to do it again, I'm gonna be fucking pissed. Insert it. All right, and then faces, and then let's try to bridge them. And 2, boom. Now we're talking, and let's actually introduce 2 loops in here and do something like this. How are we looking? I don't really like this. Yeah, I'm gonna select all of these here too. That doesn't really look good. So select all these. We could actually even go deeper here. Maybe even up to here. A really deep selection. So maybe up to here. So one more row. Yeah, something like that. So insert it, remove faces, bridge it, and on the loop, and boom. All right, this will do. Now, the only issue here is that this one looks really weak, but what we can do, we can actually combine them. So we can turn this mirror here. We can run this ring across like this to make it stronger. Boom, right? And we probably should need to insert this a little bit. So insert this a little bit. In fact, let's remove this edge here. Resolve. Grab that, insert it, and then extrude it. All right, and then we're going to run a loop here, and some loops here, and everything should be fine. And of course, we need to. There's going to be a face here in the middle. Let's remove the subdivision for a second. Let's apply the mirror. And let me just remove these faces here and close it. Okay, and then subdivision. Boom. And it looks pretty cool. So now it looks a little bit stronger. And now we can actually add some elements to it on this side here. So insert it and Alt macro and select them both, scale them, insert them one more time, and create this kind of a pattern here on this side. That looks really cool. Awesome, so that's done. And then what we can do is create this kind of like an interior here, right? So Shift A, another cylinder. So cylinder, and let's just rotate it. Scale it, move it in, and let me just move it in here so we don't have to do it again. And then we're going to create a chamfer. We're going to bevel both of these. Then we're going to insert this twice. And then we're going to do something funky. So let's grab these edges here. And Alt A, and actually mirror this to the bottom. But Blender is going to crush again. So let's go again. There we go. I don't know why it's crashing. I think it's crashing because I installed Mira Tools. It wasn't crashing before, so maybe it's Mira Tools that's crushing it. 1, 2. And this actually could be a little bit larger. Grab these and something like that. Scale this. Actually insert it once and then one more time, and then inside and one more time. We're gonna add an edge here and Control 2 and sheet smooth. Perfect. And now we need to mirror this. So Shift S to origin. We're gonna mirror this across cursor. And there you go. And put the mirror above the subdivision and a peachy. And there you go. And we could actually, you know, duplicate this here to this, actually move it to cursor, rotate it on X. So there we go. Scale it, It's a little bit too far. Move it on y-axis. There we go. We can of course rotate it because we don't want them to be rotated in the same way, right? Okay, here we could create some new pattern as well. And maybe do something like this, just for fun. And insert it, and then Altium macro. And insert it one more time. And boom, you got something like this, which is pretty cool. Awesome. I think we're done. I mean, we could just, you know, keep building on this, but I think this is pretty done already. So could actually add an indentation here as well. It's gonna be looking cool. So Altium macro and select that, insert it, and boom, and just mirror to the side, and you're good. Awesome. Yeah, that looks pretty cool. So it's a bit different that, you know, the example on the thumbnail, but it's the same idea. I don't like repeating the same shit, so I kind of doodled something and then, you know, rendered it and then created this one. So here too we could actually tighten this up a little bit. This one's gonna be more difficult because you see like this kind of an area. If you want to tighten it, you could tighten this corner and maybe this corner, but tightening, you know, like cleaning up this area is going to be a little bit difficult because of the curvature. So again, the only way to do this would be to have denser topology, right? So there's not much you can do about that except for this, but this is going to create these pools here. And again, they, you know, you could ease them off a little bit of here. You could just maybe move this one here a little bit, but I don't think it's gonna do much, to be honest. What we could do is as a triangle here, let me just run a quad here and see what happens, because this could actually work, and just combine them two and run a triangle here. It's a little bit better, but again, you know, not much you can do. There we go, that's better. That's gonna ease it off. And here too, these two are a little bit too close here, so what we could do is just, you know, ease them off away from one another, and I think it's gonna be a little bit better, cleaner, right? There you go. So that's how you do it. But you know, there are limitations. So if you want to really create very tight corners without stretching like here, you would need very even topology here. We have a really oblong these rectangles here. You would need quads basically of the same size. But you know, this is acceptable, it's fine. So then you can just, you know, run your render easily with some material works, because of course. Let's go with basic metal, and here we can go with machine steel, and then we can go with something else, plastic, shiny plastic, boom, and there you go. Alright guys, well, that's it for this one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.